Coming up, government working to undertake single largest infrastructure project, psychosocial program to be implemented in schools, and Justice Ministry urging JPs to work together. The news in detail after the break.
NIS pensioners. Early encashment continues. Any pension order voucher with a payable date in April 2022 may be encashed as of Thursday, April 7. Collect your April payments at your convenience. Simply visit your designated post office. Pension vouchers can only be encashed at post offices. A message from the Ministry of Labour and Social Security.
Now the news. The government is getting ready to undertake what will likely be its single largest infrastructure project on the island to date. The project will see to the expansion and maintenance of 60 kilometers of roadway from Montego Bay to Ocho Rios to include Maumee Bay to Salem, Sea Castle to Greenwood, and Greenwood to Discovery Bay. Minister of Finance and the Public Service Dr. Naja Clark on Tuesday sought affirmation from Parliament for an amendment to the first schedule for the Procurement Act 2015 to facilitate access to market-based solutions for the project through the International Finance Corporation IFC.
The IFC has been working with the government of Jamaica and has provided up until now its services free of cost on a pro bono basis. We now, based on the work done to date on this 60-kilometer stretch and all the preliminary analysis that has been done and the data that's been generated, we now seek to develop this project further to result in an open and competitive process for procuring the construction services. To do so, we need to engage the IFC to provide the advisory services that are necessary to develop this project and bring it to market.
Dr. Clark says the overall project will cost approximately $120 billion. Meanwhile, the Finance Minister says amending the Procurement Act 2015 will improve large-scale road construction and maintenance. In addition to granting the minister enabling powers, the act is being amended to allow financial advisory services from the International Finance Corporation IFC with respect to road development projects in Jamaica. The IFC is the private sector arm of the World Bank.
Jamaica will be moving to another level in terms of our infrastructure procurement. And it's something for us to celebrate as a country, that we are going to be opening up a market-based process for the procurement of large-scale highway infrastructure, where with the IFC's advice and help, we'll be able to go to market, specify what it is that we want to procure, and we'll invite firms from around the world to make their proposal, and it will have the benchmarks for which the team involved at that stage to select the best bid that comes forward.
Dr. Clark says the amendment will attract big firms with large balance sheets willing to take on the projects in an open and transparent manner. The Ministry of Education is implementing a psychosocial program for grade 10 students in a bid to tackle an upsurge of violence in schools. Education Minister Favour Williams says the isolation of students caused by the COVID-19 pandemic had an impact on this cohort, noting that the transition to face-to-face classes has been challenging for these students.
We have developed a model that was shared with all schools, and we ask that the focus be given to our high schools, and in particular our fourth form students in this first round of these psychosocial and socio-emotional learning activities.
The initiative is being rolled out in 2-week intervals, April 6 to 13 and April 25 to 19, under the theme Embracing a Winning Well-Being. Schools will have the flexibility to replicate and adapt the initiative as the need arises. And Justice Minister Delroy Chuck is calling on all actively serving Justices of the Peace, JPs, to make use of their parish associations to be better organized as they work to improve communities. Making the call at the launch of the St. Catherine Justice of the Peace Association in Spanish Town on April 9, Minister Chuck said JPs need to work together in order to strengthen their influence.
We have 1,612 JPs in St. Catherine, but I have to emphasize that all our efforts so far this year, we have only been able to contact 877 of them. Because individually, each of you can do so much. But when you collectively work together, when you're properly organized, you can make a big difference.
Mr. Chuck says the ministry intends to utilize the full complement of JPs in the country to support the rollout of its Alternative Dispute Resolution ADR public education campaign. That was JRS News. I'm Anjui James Sawyers.
A production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica. Suspense.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Lakshmi Singh. Satellite images indicate Ukrainian forces are preparing for a new major Russian military offensive in eastern parts of their country, especially in the Donbas region. Russian forces that recently pulled back from areas in the north were widely believed to be repositioning for an intensified assault in the east, where they also have support from pro-Russian separatists. NPR's Greg Myrie reports on how the battlefield for Ukrainian forces will be different and likely more treacherous.
In northern Ukraine, it was well suited for these small Ukrainian units to ambush columns of Russian tanks. The rural areas there had lots of woods, good cover for hit-and-run attacks, and the urban areas also lend themselves to these guerrilla-style attacks. So these were good places for the outgunned Ukrainians to fight. Eastern Ukraine is different, has lots of farmland, wheat fields and cornfields, lots of wide open spaces. The Ukrainians will find it much harder to sneak up on the Russians. The battlefields will be more suited to Russia's hulking armored vehicles and big artillery guns.
NPR's Greg Myrie reporting. 2 men accused of impersonating federal agents will be released while they await trial. NPR's Kerry Johnson reports the Justice Department declined to appeal their release.
It's good. It's better, but nothing.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Lakshmi Singh. Satellite images indicate Ukrainian forces are preparing for a new major Russian military offensive in eastern parts of their country, especially in the Donbas region. Russian forces that recently pulled back from areas in the north were widely believed to be repositioning for an intensified assault in the east, where they also have support from pro-Russian separatists. NPR's Greg Myrie reports on how the battlefield for Ukrainian forces will be different and likely more treacherous.
In northern Ukraine, it was well suited for these small Ukrainian units to ambush columns of Russian tanks. The rural areas there had lots of woods, good cover for hit-and-run attacks, and the urban areas also lend themselves to these guerrilla-style attacks. So these were good places for the outgunned Ukrainians to fight. Eastern Ukraine is different, has lots of farmland, wheat fields and cornfields, lots of wide open spaces. The Ukrainians will find it much harder to sneak up on the Russians. The battlefields will be more suited to Russia's hulking armored vehicles and big artillery guns.
NPR's Greg Myrie reporting. 2 men accused of impersonating federal agents will be released while they await trial. NPR's Kerry Johnson reports the Justice Department declined to appeal their release.
Federal prosecutors had asked that Arian Taherzadeh and Haider Ali be held in federal custody, but a magistrate judge disagreed, finding the men did not pose a risk of flight or a serious danger to the community. He ordered them to be sent to live with their fathers in Virginia on home detention. They face between 0 and 6 months in prison if they're convicted. Federal prosecutors initially described the men as a risk to national security after they plied Secret Service agents with expensive gifts, but they couldn't provide evidence that any secrets were exchanged. The Justice Department continues to investigate possible bribery and extortion. 4 Secret Service agents and officers have been placed on leave. Kerry Johnson, NPR News, Washington.
Companies have begun reporting earnings for the first quarter. NPR's David Gura reports they've had to deal with high inflation as well as Russia's invasion of Ukraine in the first 3 months of the year.
JP Morgan Chase, the biggest bank on Wall Street, says its profit dropped by 42% from a year ago. All companies, including banks, have been dealing with what JP Morgan's CEO calls global turmoil, and Jamie Dimon says that's likely to continue. Dimon says he sees significant geopolitical and economic challenges ahead due to high inflation, supply chain issues, and the war in Ukraine. JP Morgan has been cutting its ties to Russia, and it's also preparing for the risk of a potential recession as the Federal Reserve gears up to hike interest rates aggressively to fight inflation. Several other big banks report earnings on Thursday, including Wells Fargo and Goldman Sachs. David Gura, NPR News, New York.
The Dow is up 138 points at 34,359. This is NPR News. The Associated Press is now reporting suspected tornadoes in central Texas left nearly 24 people injured. The twisters are part of a storm system that may generate more tornadoes and damaging winds today. Chuck Smith with member station KDAQ reports Thousands of people lost electricity after storms struck overnight.
Thunderstorms and strong winds struck neighborhoods in Shreveport and Bossier City, Louisiana, causing damage to many homes and businesses. But it's unclear if any tornadoes touched down. Meteorologist Davian Hill with the National Weather Service offices in Shreveport explains.
As of now, we don't have anything confirmed, although we do have damage. But we will be doing surveys over the next couple of days to make a confirmation on tornadoes, but it's still preliminary at this point.
Damages include downed power lines and fallen trees. For NPR News, I'm Chuck Smith in Shreveport, Louisiana.
The White House says President Biden is announcing a group of federal judicial nominees who, if confirmed, would break racial barriers. The candidates include possibly the first Asian American judge to serve on the 7th Circuit, the first Hispanic judge to ever serve on the 9th Circuit from Washington State, and the first Hispanic woman selected to be a federal judge in the state of Illinois. Administration officials say this is Biden's 16th round of nominees for federal judicial positions. The Dow is up 144 points at 34,366. The Nasdaq is up nearly 200 points, for nearly 1.5%, and the S&P has risen 28 points, more than 0.5%. This is NPR News.
There's a lot going on in the world. On It's Been a Minute, we help you make sense of the news and culture through conversation with actors, musicians, authors, and journalists. Join us every Tuesday and Friday. Listen and subscribe to It's Been a Minute from NPR.
Hello, I'm Justine Green with the BBC News. Russia says more than 1,000 Ukrainian Marines have surrendered in the besieged port of Mariupol. Reuters journalists saw flames billowing from the Azovstal giant steelworks where the Marines had set up defensive positions. But a top advisor to President Zelensky said the Marines had broken through to connect with the Azov battalion, which meant that Mariupol was still standing. Dan Johnson has the latest.
Russian reports of 1,000 Ukrainian soldiers surrendering in Mariupol have been denied, though Russian TV has shown pictures of what it said were Marines giving themselves up. City's been constantly bombarded, and the mayor says it's now too dangerous even to count the dead. He believes 21,000 residents may have been killed. 100,000 people are thought to be left in the city, but Ukrainian officials said it wasn't safe enough to organise evacuation routes from any areas today because local ceasefire agreements haven't held. Satellite pictures show more Russian troops and artillery coming across the border into eastern Ukraine in expectation of further attacks.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has welcomed a visit by his counterparts from Poland and the Baltic states as a gesture of support for his country. The trip comes a day after the German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier cancelled his plans to join the group because Ukraine had made it clear he was not welcome. Damien McGuinness reports from Berlin.
Some German politicians have expressed irritation and surprise that Germany's President Frank-Walter Steinmeier is not welcome in Kyiv, saying that the visit would have shown German solidarity with Ukraine. In one angry tweet, Aydin Özeruz, a leading member of Mr. Steinmeier's Social Democrat Party, said it was irritating and not particularly clever for Ukraine to demand a lot of support from Germany, but to be unwilling to see the country's president. But many in Germany say they understand Ukraine's position and want Berlin to do more to support Kyiv, including acting quicker to supply arms and to ban Russian energy.
The deputy mayor of Dnipro in central Ukraine says the city's mortuaries are crammed with the unclaimed bodies of Russian soldiers. Mikhail Lysenko said 4 refrigerators were filled with more than 1,500 corpses. He said city officials did not want to cremate or bury them in mass graves. Mr. Lysenko appealed to the soldiers' mothers back in Russia to speak to their dead sons' commanders so as to claim back their bodies. A prominent environmental activist in southern Siberia has been forced to leave Russia with his family because of his anti-war stand. Yegor Lesnoy was detained and interrogated after he unfurled a banner in central Irkutsk saying no to war. As they left for Kyrgyzstan, he wrote on Instagram, "I will not live like that." You're listening to the latest world news from the BBC. Shipping at Durban, South Africa's busiest port, has been suspended because of severe flooding in the province of KwaZulu-Natal, which has killed at least 50 people, left hundreds homeless and caused massive damage. The state-owned logistics company Transnet said the port had been closed until further notice. Roads leading to the terminals are inaccessible. Sri Lanka has urged its citizens abroad to send money home to pay for urgently needed food and fuel as the country grapples with a worsening economic crisis. Here's Ambarasan Etirajan.
The central bank governor's appeal came a day after the Sri Lankan government said it was suspending all debt repayments. Sri Lanka's foreign exchange reserves had dropped to less than $2 billion by the end of last month. The government is struggling to pay for the imports of essential commodities, including fuel, food and medicines. Healthcare unions say hospitals are running out of life-saving drugs. Thousands of people have been protesting over the worsening shortages of basic supplies and rolling power blackouts. They are calling for the resignation of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa.
A court in London has given a whole-life prison sentence to a man who murdered a member of the British Parliament. The 26-year-old follower of the Islamic State militant group stabbed Sir David Amess to death last year. Ali Harbi Ali was also convicted of plotting to attack other MPs. China has registered a surprise drop in imports in March, marking a decline for the first time since August 2020, instead of the more than 8% rise that analysts had predicted. Inbound shipments fell 0.1% in comparison to the year before. The latest numbers are not generally the result of current COVID restrictions, many of which were not put in place in March. Instead, the drop is thought to be due to trouble with freight transmission and weak domestic demand. BBC News.
Bess FM 100 on your dial. Keep listening.
Hello there. Hello there. Yes, indeed. This is the Prophet Reverend Mark Stewart, inviting each and every one of you to join us for war. It's going to be a war this and every Wednesday. Of course, it's going to be hot. It's going to be powerful. Come for the word. Come for the preaching. Come for the teaching. Of course, the music. And of course, midnight warfare prayer with me, the Prophet Mark Stewart, the Boss Shot, Apostle Marshall, Reverend Eric Box, and of course, Reverend Kathy and Thames. For the hard way. Join us every Wednesday night from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. Come and join us, will you? Sponsored by all our partners, our friends of the ministry. Will you join us? Yes, indeed. It's going to be powerful. This and every Wednesday, 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. We're going to lick it till the bus gone. We're going to lick it till the bus gone. We go.
Hello?
Nadine?
Yeah?
Me just pick up one Maxfield Easterbun up by supermarket phone.
One Maxfield bun nah go do.
Nadine, that is all I could afford.
Uncle Pat, Daddy, and Jeffrey only eat bun back. And bun only come with front back and back. So where the next back I go come from?
If you want more Maxfield Easterbun, go up at the supermarket or check maxfieldbakery.com.
Yeah, forget send credit for put on service then.
Come on from my phone. Sure. Maxfield Easterbun, tweet to the max.
Half a tree. One already, 200. Ready, mama? Ready. Is this the confusion you feel when trying to work your way through medical systems in Jamaica? Try a dose of Ask Dr. Mary every Thursday at 5 to 6 p.m. Let Dr. Mary help you understand your medical problems and bring you to a calmer place.
Just pay your dues, my friend. Take my medical news. Oh, doctor. Come to meet my patient. Oh, doctor. Come to meet my patient. Oh, doctor.
The Aeronautical School of the West Indies presents Squawk 876, a fun and informative program where you will learn about flying, aircraft systems, weather, maintenance, and much more. Tune in to Bess 100 FM this and every Wednesday at 5 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Make me your radio and turn me up when
stereo. Hey, my listening crew. This is your late afternoon companion to Chickaloo on your 100 FM dial. Make sure you tune in and turn up every Tuesdays from 5 until 7 p.m. for OTAWTL. That is on the ear with me, yours truly. A program that will leave you inspired, entertained, and informed. With credit giveaways each week. Street Link, where we go in the streets to find out from the people what is hot and what is not, and so much more. And guess what? You can now voice your birthday shout-outs on our WhatsApp line at 876-438-9442, and we'll play them live on air. So what are you waiting for? Turn up Tuesdays from 5 to 7 p.m. right here on Best 100 FM, the station that is sizzling every day.
It's good, it's better, but nothing beats. Best FM.
You're no good, you ain't no good, no good. Man, you hear what I say? You're no good. You try your best to try to cause me strife, and I don't like no man who's messing around my life. You're no good, you're no good, you ain't no good. You hear what I say? You no good. Man, you hear what I say? You're no good. There comes a time when you must cry, but you never miss the water until the on your bended knees. You've done me wrong, and I can never hear your plea. You're no good, you ain't no good. Man, you ain't no good, you're no good. Man, you hear what I say? You're no good. Good at all, you're no good. Man, you hear what I say? You're no good. Man, you hear what I say? You're no good, no good, no good.
Yes, welcome back to the program, and we're into the second half of the program. Having gone past midday break. And that's the sound of Jackie Opel, special request. When I play, we generally speaking not playing a request for a little while, for a few days or weeks. Now we don't promise anybody for playing a request, but that one there was granted. And we have a caller waiting. Let's get back to the phone. Good afternoon and welcome. Welcome. Hello, are you there? Alright, we're going to the live chat. The numbers are 619-1508, 619-1508, and 279-8473. 8473. Keon Brown say, well, all right, live chat. What I think the government wrongdoing, always blame everybody for themselves. Detailed, exhaustive study show they have to be corrected and condemned. Shameful, justifying themselves. Pablo Music said, Ira Bongo Jerry, food and water, rainfall every day, and we have to buy water. Ira, I tell you. We got back another call. Yes, welcome back to the telephone. Good afternoon, welcome. Good afternoon, go ahead, please. Not there? Anyway, we're expecting to join Empress for an interview about the Coral Gardens celebration shortly. Let me see if I get that information. All right, ready? Ready? Anyway, I'm supposed to get a phone number here. Sister Aisha, please give me the come again. Yes, you got it? Oh, Sister Aisha. All right, get it for me, please. Good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon.
Go ahead, please. Good afternoon, welcome. Are you there?
I hope you're not in a angry mood, sir.
We're ready for that call yet?
Yes, sir. I hope you're not in an angry mood.
All right, the numbers again: 619-1508, 619-1508, and 279-8473, 279-8473. Have a call here.
Hello?
I don't hear it.
Hello?
Good afternoon.
Mr. Simon.
I'm not here in the earphone. Good afternoon, are you there?
Yes, I'm right there.
All right, give me a minute. I can change around this thing, please. All right, good afternoon, welcome. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
You can talk up, please. It's very low. Can we turn up, please? Go ahead, please.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Okay. I was trying to get to you, but apparently you couldn't answer, you couldn't hear me.
Yeah, go ahead now, please.
I might understand that it's $47 million of paid for the slavery compensation to the planters.
No, I was told by one of our callers that $47 million were 47 million pounds, not dollars. 47 million pounds were awarded, but the British government could not find 47 million pounds, so they gave the white people who said they are slaveholders 20 million pounds and gave them permission to hold Africans enslavement for 4 more years for the other 27 million pounds.
Okay, so in total it is still 47.
Yeah, well, yes.
Okay, do you think that was the true value at the time that they should have paid?
I'm not going to do a question and answer with you. I want you to express your opinion, and then after that we can have a discussion. I'm not going to go through the question and answer that you've been doing.
Sir, with due respect, I put it into a percentage of 100%. While they pay for
Hold on. You put it into a percentage of 100%. What does that mean?
The value, the true value that they should have paid.
Is how much?
100%. That means that would be 100 pounds.
100 pound or 100 million pound?
Whatever it was, they paid.
Not whatsoever. You tell me what you mean by 100%, please.
Sure. When you take 47 from 100, you have 53% leave. So that 53% is still in the control of those who pay the 47%. So I'm saying that to get the true value, we'd have to put both together. So we will end up with 100% value for what should be paid for slavery compensation where us Jamaican is concerned. And then now when you double that by 2, you will get actually 200%, and with some interest you end up with about 400%. Yes, sir. That is my calculation.
What you are saying is not plain, but you say it's more money, right?
Exactly. It should be more.
All right. What method now? What method the people in Jamaica? What method they would have to use to get that money? You know that the British are not going to want to pay that money easily. What do you think?
Negotiation is overdone.
What's that?
The time of negotiation is overdone.
The time of what?
The time of negotiation is
all right.
over.
The time of negotiation over. The time of negotiation is over, right? So when negotiation time over, what do you do?
They will have to do something, take some action. But what action they going to be, well, is yet to be seen. Look, it's yet to be seen. We have a local election going up and a general election. And whatsoever the result going to be, we are sure that we have something to do with the next result and the greater part of the action that the people themselves shall take when they start to prove things more and more. Hello?
Go ahead.
Well, that is just my advice, that's it.
All right.
Have a good day, sir.
All right. Thank you. Have any more?
Okay.
So we got a number for Sister Nanny. Yeah. We have her now? All right. Let's see if we can get back to some more of these live chat here. The numbers are 619-1508, 619-1508, and 279-8473. 279-8473. All right, let's go. Live chat for today. Al-Kabolan, okay. All right, let us get to it now. The Natal Basco, and then Kean Brown, Pablo of Music. We're not getting any more live chat. I don't understand why. Have another call? All right, let's get to this call. Good afternoon and welcome. Good afternoon, welcome.
Yes, good afternoon.
Hello, this is not Sister Nanny.
Yes, it is.
How are you doing, Sister Nanny? You
I
are.
am great.
Yes, you are the. Are you the secretary or the chair of the Choral Guard?
Secretary of the Rastafari Choral Guard Benevolent Society.
All right, let me just write down that you are our guest here today, Sister Nanny, right?
Yes, my brother.
All right. On what date are you going to keep this function?
Well, we'll be doing it the 15th on Bad Friday, 15th of April, this coming Friday.
Benevolent. Okay. The event took place, the initial event took place in 1963.
Yes, and April 11th and 12th.
Yes.
The Holy Thursday was 11 and the 12th was the Bad Friday.
All right. So in 1963, the event started on the Thursday, and then the government started.
The incident took place on the Thursday.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
The event started on the Thursday, and the government came out in full force on the Friday, right?
Full force, but they started hunting Rastafari from the Thursday, from right after on the Thursday, you know.
I know.
Yes, right, but the Bustamante came down now on the Friday and made his declaration.
When I said down, it is only referred.
Montego Bay from Kingston.
Yeah, it's only referred to as down, but Montego Bay is no lower than Kingston. But it's just an expression that people use.
Indeed.
You know, when they want to rank places and people, they say you go up or you go down.
Exactly. Yes.
Yes. Now, as you know, it was hunger for land because we have been starved of land for over 500 years. After being brought here against our will.
Yes.
So where are you going to keep the event?
Where? Pardon. Please repeat the question.
Where are you going to keep the event on the 15th?
Okay, we will be doing it in Albion Heights in Montego Bay.
15th of April. Albion House. Where is that?
Heights.
Albion Heights.
That is on the Albion Road, close to the Albion Primary and Junior High School.
Now, before you reach the Albion Primary and the Albion... Hold on, please. Before you reach the Albion School Primary and the Albion Road, which point in Mobay that is well known you would reach to reach the Albion Road?
All right, so it is Cornwall College.
All right, Cornwall College.
College playing field.
Yes, going towards Glen Devon.
Yes.
Yeah. And you pass Middle Ground.
I don't.
Middle Road. You pass Middle Road.
No. You continue on the Albion Road. There's a left turn that you would need to go up to Paradise.
All right, hold on. You have some roads that turn up into Glen Devon there, right?
No, you don't get so far.
Oh. All right. So you turn left. You know Blood Lane?
Yes, you don't get so far either.
All right, so you turn left before you reach Blood Lane.
Yes.
All right.
You turn left. You turn just as you pass the
playing field.
The Albion Primary and Junior High School.
Okay, that's just after you pass the Cornwall College playing field.
No, you pass the Cornwall College playing field and you continue on the Albion Road.
Yes. I'm not far. All right.
And then when you pass the Albion Primary and Junior High School,
yeah,
it is the first left.
Okay.
And it is right there at that first left on the corner of Albion Road there, and it's the Albion Heights community, but you don't really actually go up into the community. It's right there at the Albion Road corner.
So it's going to hell on the corner or inside of premises?
No, it will be on one of the lots that are connected with the Albion Heights community.
All right.
But I'm saying that it is close to the main road of Albion Road.
Yes, and the event will run on one day, the Saturday, right? The Friday, right?
The Friday, yes.
What time?
It starts at 11 a.m.
Yeah.
and we go on until 9 p.m.
So it will take the form of a stage presentation or what?
Yes, so it starts with some activities for children in the morning, and by 1 p.m. we will do the elders banquet.
Oh.
And by 2 p.m. we will start with the speakers forum.
All right, hold on 1 minute. Now the elders banquet is the usual feeding of the elders that usually take place at places like Pit 4.
Yes, the survivors of the atrocities.
So who will be put? Is it Naya Bengi House will be putting on the feeding of the elders or the Choral Garden?
No. The Rastafari Choral Garden Benevolent Society is the host of the event.
All right. So I understand that a few years ago, 2 lots of land were given to the Benevolent Society in what area again?
In Albion Heights.
Oh, it's the same place? The same place?
The same place. That's where we're really doing it for the first time.
Okay, I understand that one of the lots of land was to be the site of an old people's care home.
Yes, a permanent elder care facility.
Come again?
The permanent elder care facility. We have started operating an elder care facility, but it's on rented premises in Norwood.
So you're going to build a permanent facility for the Rastafari elders or for all elders?
For the Rastafari elders, yes. That is primarily for the Rastafari elders.
All right.
But if there is room to accommodate others, we would not turn them away, you know?
Yes. So now, how many of the survivors of the Coral Gardens abuse and the All Island abuse you still have on record?
There's approximately between 21 and 23 about there. Yes.
And how much money was officially approved for each one of them to receive?
Okay, so the trust fund received 104 million, but the survivors have been divided into 4 tiers based on the level of abuses that they experienced. So there's not a specific amount. So within the four tiers, there are different levels of compensation.
And you said there's no specific amount for each one?
Not individually, but for each tier, you would get each person within a given tier would receive that at equal amounts. But the way how it has been disbursed so far is that every month from January 2020, each survivor has received $100,000 on a monthly basis.
So now, none of the people has been given a sum of money for them possession.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
No, I'm not talking about.
It's lodged to their account.
No, I'm not talking about increments every month. None of the survivors have been given an award for themselves and handed over to them.
So
they have not been. None of them has been received.
The amount that is allotted.
No, hold on, please. Hold on. Okay? Hold on. Let us keep it simple. So none of them has been given any money personally by the government. They only get allotments every month.
Yes, and it's received in their bank account.
Yes, I know, but they have not received any compensation. There's no reparation that has taken place then.
No, the amount of money that is allotted to them on a monthly basis is compensation.
Yeah, but no, they have not received
it in a lump sum.
No, listen. I want the public is learning how the government is operating. So what really happened is that they have not given any individual any compensation or reparation. What they're doing is giving them money by the month, and the quicker that they die is the easier the government will get rid of that person.
No, whenever several survivors have died in the process of time, and the balance of the money goes to their next of kin. They signed a document naming a beneficiary or beneficiaries, and those beneficiaries receive the balance of their money after they have passed.
Every month, same way?
No.
When?
Lump sum form.
Lump sum.
Hold
on. So the survivors receiving the monthly 100,000?
Yes.
Oh, so as long as the survivor live, they will go and receive the 100,000?
Yes.
Until that 104 million done?
Exactly.
Very smart by the government. Very smart and tricky. But I know that the Benevolent Society is doing its best. Now, beside the lot where the old people's care place, Carol Gardens Elders Care Facilities to be built. Beside that has been allocated a lot for the office for the Benevolent Society, right?
Yes, yes.
When will that be built?
Well, I could not specifically tell you now because we have just cleared the land and it's the first use that we are making of it by putting on the commemoration event.
But this award of these 2 lots took place a couple of years ago.
It was announced in 2018 in Parliament.
So we
have not yet received any documentation.
Can you imagine? Hold on.
That is a part of the process that we are still awaiting.
Yes, I that's why can you imagine? I tell you, I don't envy your people's responsibility because imagine you know have been working so hard for these rewards and compensation for your people, and they announced it 4 years ago, and all now the building don't start, but the government is taking credit for it 4 years. Boys, your job, you really have to be patient. I have to commend them for their patience. And
yes, indeed. We have been patient, and it is a long process. I once referred to the process as like pushing an elephant.
Yes, it's more like pulling elephant teeth. So now they're going to build an office for the Carroll Benevolent Society, right? Have they showed you the design of the office?
No. Everything is really coming from our initiative. So, and they have not given a commitment either that they will build. They have only announced that the lots were allocated to us.
So only the lots are allocated. No money is allocated to build the building.
No, not at all.
And no money is allocated to build the care building for the elders either.
No.
Boy, this is really slick, really slick. But all the more we have to commend the Carroll Gardens Benevolent Society. Which other offices is entailed in the Benevolent Society?
Okay, so we have a committee of management of 11 persons. And so we have a chairperson, an assistant chairperson, a treasurer, a vice chair, an assistant treasurer, secretary, assistant secretary, welfare officer, assistant welfare officer, public relations officer, and that person's assistant, and what is called a volunteer coordinator.
So they don't allocate any salary for all these offices.
No, these offices, we were told initially, even before we registered, that we are volunteers, and so we are not paid officers.
So how you carry on the business of the society?
Well, we as volunteers we do our best.
But it doesn't need money to carry on the business society.
Well, we get donations, albeit quite small at times. We also they collect dues from our members, and the main operation that we are now undertaking is really the elder care facility, and the government provides a disbursement on a quarterly basis to pay staff and to buy food and other supplies to run the elder care facility.
So they have started disbursing that money?
Pardon?
They have started disbursing that money?
Oh yes, we
but you are in rent?
Opened in April of last year, and we have been operating 1 year now.
Okay.
And they have continued with their commitment.
But you have to be using rented premises?
Yes, so far.
All right.
So the rent is also covered by them.
Then tell me something now. The Benevolent Society doesn't see the vital necessity of establishing a museum about this whole history.
Oh, definitely. That is part of the recommendations we gave to the government in 2016, a 13-point list of recommendations.
Yeah. And what did they do with that?
One recommendation that the government should assist us in preserving the history. But the thing is that of the 13-point list, 3 really refer directly to the victims, the survivors. The other recommendations are in respect of reparations to the Rastafari community. And those reparations have not been addressed at all yet by the government. So we are still pressuring and pursuing the issue of even, for example, one of them that's very, very critical is that the government should establish a written policy in the respect of the wearing of locks in schools and at the places of work. And you know that it is in current the whole current issue of the Nzinga King and a few others who are still being discriminated against. Even students in school, when they return to school every year, they have problems with the principals because there is no written policy. So it is left up to individual principals and their discretion
which is what we are saying, that if there's a written policy, then it takes the burden away from these agents of the state, like principals and nurses who are tending to want to trim beards, and police women who are tending to want to trim locks. It takes away that discretionary
and also
from them, and let them know that it is
also directors of public prosecution who tend to paint a bad character picture of this Rastafarian daughter. You remember what the director of public prosecution said about Nzinga in the last part?
Yes. She took the role of a psychiatrist.
What she said?
Even.
What she said?
And suggested that Nzinga needs psychological assistance.
Yes, and by doing so, you see what a disgraceful thing was done by her doing so?
Yes, indeed.
Disgraceful.
And in recent times, since the report of the public defender came out, she was interviewed and she said that even if the case goes to court, it is not they can't win it. So she has already declared.
Yes, that's what she's trying to. She's trying to tip the scale of justice.
Yes, indeed, she has. Not on
tip
time,
the scale of justice.
Already done so.
Because she know that justice blind, so justice not going to see when she tipping the scale of justice.
Yeah, and all of this thing, is just so reminiscent of the Coral Gardens atrocities.
Yes.
Where the Rastafari brethren were taken up and they were trumped up charges, and when they went to court, the police made up their charges as they went along,
yes.
And the judges went along with them and gave them prison sentences for nothing at all.
All right, well, I'll tell you this. I was 15 years old when the trial was going on, and I was on holiday in Runaway Bay with 4 other teenage cousins. I was 15. And my brother was a young lawyer, just returned to Jamaica and decided to visit my father in Montego Bay, and him come pick us up because I know we want to go. And we went there. My father was trying the murder case. And we went and visited him in the courthouse in Montego Bay while it was on recess. And he was living in the same building because there's a judge's quarters in the building. And he took us through the whole building, and he took us through and was outlining the case to us. And he told us that the government is trying to use the case to increase the sentence for ganja.
Indeed.
Because the argument of the government was that is the ganja smoking of the Rastafari brethren that brought them into conflict with the people of Jamaica and the law and caused them to be violent. And on the basis of that, and he the judge, apart from telling us his opinion right there, he also gave his opinion that it was not under the influence of ganja that these actions were carried out, and that he does not agree with that that proposition that the ganja is a something that promote violence, and therefore and they increased the sentencing. In those times, I remember the sentencing for ganja was sometimes 30 days, and sometimes they never even used to have to send the person to prison. They would just make them serve the 30 days in the local jail in the parish where the case was tried. 30 days and 2 months and 3 months, and sometimes a few more months, probably a year, for possession of large amount. I can't remember the exact figures, but it wasn't. And they changed it immediately. They changed it immediately after to the smallest amount of ganja, and the first offense of possession of the smallest amount of ganja, 18 months mandatory. In other words, 18 months, and you must serve the 18 months, even if you were a well-behaved citizen for the whole of your life up to 40, 50 years old when you first get held. And 3 years, I think, for trading and possession of large amount of ganja. So you see how much the tradition of the DPP was laid from that time, and yet we have had many DPPs from in that time who have been who have tried not to interfere in influencing the public in this kind of way, and you know, understand, is a disgrace. And it's a lady that I used to admire. But hear this again now. Hear this again now. Who is the liaison between the government and the Coral Gardens Benevolent Society?
Mrs. Barbara Blake Hanna. She's the liaison officer in the Ministry of Culture.
Oh yes, it was she who did describe the Prime Minister's apology as a wonderful. But you know that proper apologies, especially from governments, names out the nature of the atrocity for which they are apologizing.
Oh yes, our initial reaction, even the initial reaction of the survivors, was that it was not a fulsome apology. But since you cannot force somebody to apologize, and since that if we got stuck there, then we would not move on to the point of getting compensation for them. We expressed our opinion and then we moved on.
Yes, because what they were doing is blackmailing you. That if you want a better apology, you might get that and 2-0 behind it. Instead of some money and 2-0 behind it, you will get a better apology and some 0 with it. So Holness did not name out what it was that the government had done properly. He did not name out what they had done, and he did not name out that it was his predecessor Bustamante.
The main objection or the main criticism that we had about the apology was that he apologized for the Coral Gardens incident.
Yes.
Specifically, which occurred on the 11th and 12th of April in 1963.
Yes.
Now, he could not apologize for an incident which Rudolph and his friends went into the Coral Gardens, burnt down the gas station and did the other things. In fact, he should be apologizing for the atrocities which ensued after the incident.
That is what.
So that is what our contention was, you know?
So that is a trick. That is the whole trick. That's why I was appalled. But I just keep it to myself in a little way. When I heard somebody who is identified with the Rastafari movement saying that Holness apology was a wonderful apology. But anyway, let us leave that there. Now the Outer Many facility at one time was dangled before the Rastafari, before the Rastafari community and the Coral Gardens community. What become of the Outer Many?
Well, the Outer Many proposal was made by the public defender when she submitted her report in 2015, stating that in fact the Rastafari victims needed to be compensated and the community should be compensated as well. So the Outer Many proposal was a part of was a recommendation which would assist in reparations for the community.
Yes.
You know, and she also, the public defender, recommended that the government assist the Rastafari community to obtain a commercial license for ganja production and assist with us in terms of technical assistance and licenses for export and so on, you know.
Licenses for export of licenses for export of ganja.
Yes.
Yes.
But at that time, the industry had not reached the stage of development as it is now. So all of that was conditional upon the industry being developed.
All right. Now hear me now. And what did the government and therefore the government has been able to dodge that one? All right.
Yes.
Now, whose constituency, these 2 lots of land that you have been promised, and where you're going to keep this function on Friday, whose constituency is it in?
It is in Dr. Horace Chang's constituency, and he is the member of parliament who the prime minister assigned to negotiate with us initially. So he then at the same time of making the apology in 2017, the prime minister said that the public defender should conduct a social inquiry and on all the victims that were listed that we had submitted to them, and the member of parliament for the area should
for which area?
For the Coral Gardens area.
Oh, so because the Coral Gardens lies in his constituency, he is assigned.
He was assigned to negotiate with us.
Yes. And then now, these 2 pieces of land belong to who?
It is government property.
Government property. Now,
yes.
Did the people in Albion Heights know that these 2 pieces of land was government property?
I assume so. I think so.
Why you assume so?
Because over the years, those lots were occupied by officials who were employed to the government.
Occupied in what way? Hold on. Occupied in what way?
No, when the houses were first built, the officers of the state were assigned to live in them.
Then houses are on those 2 lots?
Houses were.
What happened to the houses?
The property was left unsecured after some time. I don't know the history of that part.
What was left?
So those buildings have been vandalized.
Yes.
And so there are just the concrete skeletal remains that are there.
Yes.
But everything that is movable was taken away.
Yes. So do you know that there are thousands of acres of land and thousands of lots of land owned by the government that the public don't know?
Oh yes, yes, I'm aware of that.
And do you know that when politicians get into office, one of the most urgent things that they get down to right away is finding out where the government lands are?
Well, that part I would assume they would want to do, yes?
Right away. That's one of the first things that happen when politicians win, whether local government office or central government office. They get down and get inside and find out where all the government lands are and where all of the unclaimed lands are. And
yes, I know about that part.
Yes, and all of the untitled lands are.
Yes.
Now, was it you, the Coral Gardens Committee, who took Horace Chang and the Commissioner of Police into the tabernacle, the Rasta Tabernacle, a few months ago?
No, we don't have control over that. It is the Nyabingi Center.
Yeah.
So the personnel there would have...
So you saw that video?
Yes, I saw it.
And who was in that video?
Oh, well, many persons, you know, so no, I don't know why you want to name them. I don't know.
No, I want to know who was in that video because I'm very important.
Yes, they were.
Because didn't they take the Commissioner of Police inside there?
Yes, that is obvious, man. That was on the videotape.
And then afterwards we saw some playing of the drums in there?
Yes.
And who were playing the drums?
But I'm telling you, I was not there, you know, so I just saw...
No, the video we're talking about is the video.
Yeah, and I don't want to call names.
All right. It is public knowledge. There were some well-known drummers there, Rastafari drummers were there.
Yes.
And then there were a couple policemen also there playing the drums.
Yes.
You remember?
Yes.
And the commissioner was watching with enjoyment the policeman playing the Rasta drums.
Exactly.
And Horace Chang was watching.
As what was repeated when the Duke of...
well, that is where we're coming to. That is where we're coming to because that was what was just the icing on the cake. The cake was the drumming at there inside the Rastafari Center. That was the preparation, you know. That was it. That was the
prior to that, when Prince Charles was here in 2015,
yes.
I saw a video of him and Camila playing the drums as well.
Yes, so all of that was preparation for prepare the minds of the people and to violate what when insult is added to injury.
Yes.
And you remember the parable or the fable about the Pied Piper of Hamelin?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is the reverse of the Pied Piper of Hamelin, where the city government wanted to get rid of a plague, a pandemic, a pandemic of rats. Mm-hmm. And they couldn't get rid of the pandemic by whatever vaccine they tried. And then they heard that there was some terrific musicians
that would call the rats out of the
they heard that there were some musicians who could play music to achieve anything. Have you ever seen a picture of a snake charmer playing a flute?
Yes.
And a deadly cobra is in a basket. You can't even see because the basket mouth is so small, but the basket is big. You can't see in the basket. And when that flute player with him rapid like a Rastaman play that flute, and when him hit the right note, you see the snake rise up out of that basket with curiosity to say, who the hell is playing my music?
Yes.
And they rise up and charm. That is a snake charmer. You know, man? And you have some snake charmers still around here?
Oh, yes. The music, the power of the music will always be there, you know?
Yes, ma'am.
If you hit the right chords.
Yeah, the right chords. Resonate. They resonate. But anyway, the prince that is called Charles, he is also a duke. Like how this prince that come here all the other day is also a duke.
Mm-hmm.
And on that occasion, he also put on a tam with some false locks in it that is frequently sold to tourists, when they want to impersonate Rasta or when they want to pantomime or have a little fun time, But I know that the burden that you carry is quite onerous, and the reward is hardly.
Yes, I mean the reward is in the satisfaction of achieving our objectives. That is where I see the reward.
But it's a life work though.
Yes, it is. It takes a lot, and as we say, it is voluntary, and we as we say, we do it.
Yeah.
You don't have there is nothing you call it now, material to gain out of it.
Yeah.
But indeed, satisfaction and spiritual growth is you feel that,
So how did you get the name Nanny?
Well, okay. Well, I am a descendant of the Maroons.
Oh yeah, which community?
Both communities, Charlestown and the one up in Akompong.
Okay.
My father, through my father's line, he grew up in Port Antonio, and his father was a Maroon as well. So it is from that line, that lineage, that I come.
So your mother, who was from Akompong?
Pardon?
Who was from Akompong?
Well, what happened, according to my father's term, the Maroons used to follow line.
Yes.
Right, so they would leave from the Akompong area and walk along the ridge of the cockpit country.
No, the ridge of Jamaica. The ridge of Jamaica.
Indeed. And go, and so the communication and the interaction and intermarriage and everything else took place between different communities.
And that is how Nanny disagreed and left.
Yes, indeed.
And went to the Far East.
Yes.
So your father named your Nanny?
No, I was not registered as nanny, but I took on the name.
That's nice.
Recognizing the significance of nanny and everything else.
Yes, nice. And you see how much nanny disapproved of the genuflection, you know, ma'am?
Yes, indeed.
Yes, nanny disapproved of the genuflection, the bowing, and the sign, the fine print of the signing, and she left.
Which is now the bone of contention right now.
Of course it is.
Yes.
And nanny would not be caught dead. Nanny would not be caught dead agreeing that she going to meet with the British, but she must leave Kojo, and Kojo mustn't come.
Right.
She wouldn't be caught dead doing that, you know.
Right, yes, I know.
And because of that, she did not.
Spirit and character of nanny.
Yes, and because. Come again, ma'am. Go again, ma'am.
Yes, I know the spirit and character of nanny, so hence my claiming that name.
Yes, and that is why she left, and she did not sign because she would not agree that she must leave anyone out.
With them selling out.
Yes, and you know that the British representative in Jamaica recently demanded from 3 or 4 chieftains of the Maroons that they must meet with him, but they must leave out one of the chieftains.
They must leave out one of what?
One of the chieftains, one of the colonels.
Okay. Because that is the one who is still holding
Yes,
the hard end.
Yes, he is redeeming. No, what Kojo did, he is attempting to redeem the weakness of Kojo. Everybody have weakness, and every human being have some weakness.
Yes.
And this guy now, I'm not calling him the guy as no insult. This man here look like he is hell-bent or heaven-bent on redeeming the shortcoming of Kojo. And because of that, the table turn and the shoe is on the other foot, that instead of being included, he must be left out. And the other ones who did stand up strong in that time, the Eastern Maroons, they are the ones who have been because this is how the British do. This is how the British are past masters at this, you know. Not only.
Oh yes. That fine-tune the whole art of divide and rule.
Yes, man. Treachery and trick or treat. You know trick or treat?
Yes.
That Halloween thing, alternative.
Right.
And the word treaty is of the same root. It is another.
Yes.
It and treachery. Treaty and treachery are 2 words from the same root. Yes, and treaty and treat can have good connotations, you know, because you can treat somebody good or you can treat them bad.
Can also treat them bad.
Yes, and you can entreat somebody, like our Ruth did entreat in Naomi.
Yes.
Or Naomi did entreat the Ruth never to leave me, or Nanny didn't. I have to stop talking, because sometimes this thing overcome, you know. You know, ma'am?
Pardon?
Sometimes this thing overcome me, I have to stop talking for a few seconds, you know.
Yes. Oh boy.
Anyway, keep the work here, ma'am.
Give thanks, Jerry.
All right, so
keep your work as well.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. We encourage everyone to support what would you call it? Celebration? Can we call it celebration?
Commemoration.
Yes.
Commemoration. 1963 atrocity.
Yes, and the celebration of the spirit of Rastafari, male and female.
Yes, that we are still enduring.
May I tell you, man?
Even though the community was supposed to have been wiped out.
Yes.
We are here still. We are still here.
And they are attempting to divide just the same way that the Maroon community and many communities over the thousands of years have been ruled by division. They are attempting to do the same thing with Rastafari. Rastafari is the most prominent threat, you know, the most prominent threat, an enduring threat.
Yes.
So I am so glad that you people like yourself and committees like yourself is is reiterating to Rastafari that Rastafari is not a religious movement, it's a freedom movement, and the practice of organizing and building institutions and representing people is what the Coral Gardens Benevolent Rastafari Collab is doing. Not a religion.
Yes.
This is a liberation movement.
No, not a religion. It's a way of life.
A way of life and a school of thought.
Exactly.
Well, thank you very much, Nani.
Yes, you're welcome, Jerry. And take good care. Thank you for having me on your program.
Yes, ma'am. I'll repeat the venue and the time for me, please.
Okay, so the venue is at Albion Heights on Friday, April 15. The event starts at 11 a.m. with, activities for children. We're planning to teach them some drumming, and they will have a little fun too on a bounce about, right? And when it comes to 1 p.m., we will have the elders banquet, and thereafter we will start the speakers forum. The speakers, the guest speaker is Dr. Michael Barnett of UE, and we have other speakers like Ras ID who will be paying tribute. The theme of the event is tribute to our freedom fighters, and Ras ID will be paying tribute to our fallen soldiers, those who have passed on. We will also have an address from Kamau Janai. He will be speaking about the Rastafari participation in the cannabis industry, or the lack thereof. And we will also have a representative from the Luminaire Secretariat informing the public about the Lumi and its intention and how to go about, dealing with that currency.
By the way,
and, I will also give an update on where we are with the negotiations with the government. And the first man will give us a short address on the Rastafari centralization. The Rastafari movement needs to come together in order to achieve the stated objectives that we have. So those are the areas that we'll be focusing on. Miguel Lorne will also be looking at the legal issues in respect of the DPP report, the Public Defender's report, and the Indicom report regarding the Nzinga King situation. And then we hope to finish the Speakers Forum by 6 p.m. and we will start the cultural presentation. Headlining artists are Hezron, Nature Ellis, Matty Conscious, Boom Dawn, and many more.
All right. I urge the Rastafari Benevolent Society, Coral Gardens Rastafari Benevolent Society, to acquire video and recording equipment and to keep it.
Yes, we have been paying videographers, and we have previous commemoration events on record. Also, I should point out that we asked for a contribution of $500 for adults to come into the event, and children under 12 years old coming free.
All right. Well, thank you very much again, Sister Nani.
Yes, thank you also, Gary. Take care.
Well, thank you very much. Yes, that was Nani, Sister Nani of the Coral Gardens Rastafari Benevolent Society, putting on the commemoration of the events and outcome of the Coral Gardens debacle 1963. All right, I think we have any calls there. Let us get our call. Let's get to the telephone, please. Yes, good afternoon and welcome. Not there? All right. What else again now? Next one again.
Yeah.
Sister D. Ruben, say, you see how long it had them a draw out Coral Garden reparation, yet them can hand out Royal Reed 28 million so quick? The haste for him to face justice put back till 2023-24. Bess says payment was lump sum. It put back to 2023. I thought it was in May That was coming up in May. Some news come out today. And she continued, the judgment by the DPP to malign Nzinga must be redressed in court, and DPP to resign her post as she show her corruption and lack of purpose. Well, I don't know if we can safely put out a statement like that, and in protection of the station, in protection of this radio station, and even the listeners and callers, I think we should withdraw that sentence and apologize for that sentence. Let's get to the telephone. A call here?
Yeah, bless her, Jerry.
Welcome.
Yeah, man. See, when I look on the whole situation, you know, the Coral Garden thing,
yeah,
you know, it just sum it up. You see, when you look how them deal with the rural thing,
yeah,
and how them deal with the Coral Garden thing, the people them reach a level with them bill all and infirm, you know, because I infirm, I call that, you know.
No, that.
To put the rest, to put the 5 Rasta where survive, you know, the atrocity, you know. To put the 5 Rasta, you know. You understand? And go and collect money off of them head.
Yeah.
It is a disgrace, you know, to see how them people are dealing with Rasta, you know. It's a Tabby Diamond 9 night I keep, you know. And the man him go lock it off, you know, 9 o'clock, you know. And I say, the man him have to have a permit, you know. And when you look on Tabby Diamond, put the whole of them together, whole of the politicians them together. Tabby Diamond more than all of them to Jamaica. Because if you put the whole of them at Brazil, put Tabby Diamond at Brazil and put the whole of them at Brazil and say, what that man name? Andrew, what that man name? Desmond. Nobody don't know them. You understand? Everybody know Tabby in the world, and Tabby Diamond 9 night a keep up at Brazil, it a keep up at Canada, it a keep up at England, it a keep up at Washington, and everywhere in the world. And it can't keep up at Jamaica, and Jamaica have 5,000 soldiers and 12,000 police. And the man them come lock off the man thing. You understand? Like, them, I don't know if a pint them approve or what. See, them always approve a pint for Rasta. See, upon the Coral Garden thing now. The Coral Garden, Rasta them have family, you know. Where them could have built a house or give them the money and make the people and build them house and them can't say, yeah, man, you know, say, that thing had to reach my grandfather. And at this, it really get out like film reparation or whatever. The man and bill are infirmary and pack up the Rasta them, the 5 Rasta and I wait for them dead. See? And
you hear me? You hear me, Ross? You see, through the interview was take so much time, like 3/4 hour. We have to go let in some more people on the phone and the live chat. But tomorrow we can talk about it at further length. But just sum it up properly.
Yeah, man, blessed, yeah?
All right, thanks. Here, next call. Good afternoon, welcome. Go ahead, please. Are you there?
Hello.
Welcome.
All right, Bongo.
Yeah.
I was calling back based on the thing with this, the reparations and the claims and all.
Yeah, man, go ahead.
The lunchtime.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yes. Well, I got that information from it. Actually, it's really shepherd.
No, you have to talk clearer. I'll talk one word. Make hear what you say. Go on.
Oh, you're not saying that. I'm saying the information I got about the 47 million.
No, you still speed up too much. The information that you got, what?
About the 47 million.
Right.
Yes, it was from Vivian Shepherd's program.
All right.
Yes, and the chancellor at the university. I can't remember his name right now.
All right, my name, Sir Hilary Beckles, yeah.
Sir Hilary Beckles, yes.
That's great. Thank you very much, yeah?
Yes.
Great. All right, we have more? All right, we're going to go ahead with the live chat. Sister D. Ruben said the judgment. No, we did read that one there already. Okay. Kayan Brown says, Sister D. Ruben, the government men They only just towards them circle, to them one circle, both slave them. Sister D. Ruben, why is the land still government land? Why is the land not owned by Rastafari? The natal Basco to Sister D. Ruben. That DPP lady says she is sticking to her story and not charging the police. Yes, Sister D. Ruben to Kian Brown. Whosoever negotiate and agree to that property without owning the land there. So, with cynical and dirty intent, you know them view to take that property whenever them have a mind. Kian Brown replied to Sister Ruben. Imagine how much land them stealing at so-called crown lands and owner of public beach. Johnny Johnson say, you have to respect Natty Denroy Morgan condolences. He won a farm estate and got a state funeral even if the Orthodox Church didn't officiate. His funeral, I as a priest ordained in 1984, still active, Takelem Kose. I couldn't get back on to deliver this as earlier due to circumstantial matters. Remember a request from yesterday, Piece of Ground by Miriam Akiba? Just fitting in the ongoing matters. Yes, but anyway, I'm telling you, I'm not promising to play no request for a little while. I'm telling you, please understand with me. Sister D. Ruben to the natal Basco. Does that mean the public prosecutor words now have no work? As to where I understand the DPP has to follow the recommendations of the public, of PP. PP is a public, not public defender. PP, who is that? As with compensation to Carl Gardens having to pay. I think she mean public defender anyway. And she continues, you see it? Them looking for criminal space for deal with I&I. While them a thief the best for themselves. I'm with Ross Bongo. Enough times I have to stop talk. Takilem Kwasa to Sister D. Ruben. The battle is ongoing. The fire have to keep burning. So much underlying issues to address. Sister D. Ruben. Bongo Jerry Small. The statement at start of program. I take the program. As I views an opinion, not speak. As I views an opinion, not speak for this station. And I put my opinion state that she not serve purpose other than I take her colleague. You put a word there. Anyway. Yes, there is a disclaimer at the beginning of the program and at the end. At the same time, you will understand how we have to additionally protect. Johnny Johnson said Carl Gardens was a watershed movement for Rastology in Pan-Carib African movement like Union Island, St. Vincent, On the Move, Family Africa, in Philadelphia, killings, etc. Takelem because I overstand Bongo. No problem. You understand what I say? Good. Alright, nice. We have another call? We do? No? Alright, all the best. Well, the numbers are 619-1508, 619-1508 and 279-8473. 279-8473. Yes, it always or sometimes seem like very long, and not only seem like very long, sometimes it seems like what we are working for will not come together. Yeah, you think so? It is not hard to think so. Really seems so, but one of the first duties that you have is to find the other people with whom you can cooperate. You just keep to your little job. Find the other people who can establish trust with, and to find such people, you have to prove yourself trustworthy. Step by step, everything will happen. Let's get back to the telephone. Good afternoon. Welcome. Go ahead, please. You want to join the program?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Wagwan. I can call your name?
Yeah, man.
Ross Eugene Wagwan.
Eugene, right.
Wagwan.
Yeah, man. I want name Nanny.
Nanny. Alright, the radio that is beside you. Move it away from you, please. Nanny is a lady, a Rastafarian sister who is... Oh, I have to move away that radio. The radio going to disturb us. The radio is going to disturb us. We can't work with the radio. Are you there? The radio. All right, Nanny is the secretary
Okay, we'll get to that later. Oh.
Alright, Nani is the secretary.
Hello? Hello? Are you there? Alright, the caller not hearing us.
Yeah. Nani, how? Yeah, man.
The radio is still there. I can't work with this. The radio is still there. Pull that. Alright, do you have any more call? Alright, if you can make the call again, make the call again, because we can't work while the radio is playing. Can't work while. But anyway, Nani is a Rastafari sister who has been several years now the secretary of the Coral Gardens Rastafari Benevolent Society, a benevolent society, a non-profit citizens organization that is taking care of the interests of the Rastafari movement in the whole Coral Gardens history, and of the elders and the people who survived from that time after receiving persecution at the hands of the government. And the Coral Gardens Benevolent Association or Society has been securing certain compensation and rights one by one, and very frustrating in the meantime, but still carrying on them work. Alright, we're going back to the live chat. Takilemka. When I'm saying when I'm saying understand Bongo, not about not stating certain words that might get the station in trouble, but about the songs, the request of the songs. Okay, thank you very much for that. Have a call back again. Good afternoon and welcome.
Yes.
Welcome.
I get cut off a while ago with the thing. It's not that England could, it's about the 47 million pounds. No, England could not sign it, because at the time it was more than the whole GDP of the country.
Yeah, explain to the people. Hold on, explain to the people what is GDP. You can explain?
I have an idea of what GDP is. It's the amount of money that the country has from the goods and services that it can provide.
In other words, the amount of money that the entire population and business of that country produce in 1 year. What them call gross domestic product. Domestic mean which part the world want to live together, and product mean all we want to produce for that year there. Gross mean everything come together in a one. That's what them say, gross.
Right.
Everything come together in a one. What you produce for that year in that country, what you call domestic. Okay. So England couldn't pay that money out of 1 year earnings of England?
No, they could not, because when it is checked with today's with the gross domestic product of England today, it should be somewhere in the trillions.
All right. So because them couldn't because the taxes because the whole earnings of the country and the taxes for 1 year couldn't pay that money one time, them decide to do what?
They decided to pay half and let the schools work for the other half.
All right. They decided to pay half to who?
To the owners.
All right. So you see the trick?
Yes.
Hold on. Let me explain to the people the trick who don't understand the fullness of the trick. The trick is that England is saying that them going to pass a law that no more enslavement must take place. So the big English landowners in Jamaica going to lose them enslavement money what them getting off of our back. So Britain going to pay them some money what them going to lose. When them estimate the money, them going to lose 47 million pounds, but Britain can't pay it back 1 year. So instead of them pay it back over 2 year or 5 year, hear the trick. Them say them are going to pay 20 million out of it, and guess who must pay the other more than half of the money? Now me and you, you know, work 4 more years and pay Britain bill. I wonder if you understand that.
Yes, and
Britain claims him going to pay the bill to him planter friend them, but him can't pay it one time. So him and the planter friend just make up a trick say, we abolish slavery. But the African them have to pay the rest of the money. After them have hundreds of years I make them rich. Them say, you're free from today, but me can't pay me bill. So you have to go work the next 4 years and pay me bill.
Right. But not even that, you know. All of that money that was raised, none of it came to the Caribbean or to Jamaica, you know. All of it came to England to develop the economy of England.
No, hold on. I can explain to the people. Because first you talk like a fast. But what the caller is saying, that another part of the trick is that that money never come to Jamaica. It come to build up England in England. But that money wasn't planning to, they wasn't planning for that money to come to Jamaica anyway, you know. That money is being paid to Englishman. Why the Englishman was in Why the Englishman was in Jamaica, capturing Jamaica and capturing slave? To make money to send to England. So you're not going to pay the money to Jamaica. You're going to send the money to England just like how he was in Jamaica scraping money to send to England. And furthermore, him who live in Jamaica have great house at Jamaica. Is England him really live? So you just pay him the money in England. Just like how you have man bribe government minister in Jamaica. But the government minister said, no, give me in Jamaica. Me have one bank account in France. Carrot go put in France. Or him say, no, pay me in Jamaica. Me have one mansion in St. Lucia. Carrot go put on in the front room in the mansion. See the key here? Go put on in the front room in St. Lucia. And later me go check it. And remember if it's short, you have to give me the rest. That's how they make the arrangement.
Yeah, that is why David Cameron came here and he was not willing to apologize because his family got money out of that, you know.
Yes. And the money, yes, his family got money out of that.
Yes, and it is even said that it wasn't, England did not finish paying for those loans of the £20 million until 2015.
When you say loan of £20 million, who them borrow it from?
Okay. Remember, governments keep borrowing money and making.
No. I don't want to hear about governments and everybody else. This one time, England, who England did borrow that money from?
I think it was from the taxpayers or who they borrowed it from.
No, man, them borrowed from one of them big bank. Them borrowed from one of them same friend bank. Because remember, when you borrow money, you know, the guy will lend you go and make money to you know.
Right.
So that's why if you even get a car for buy or you take out a car loan, if you have a friend who have a bank or an insurance company, you borrow it from him too, that you get your car and him get money, interest on the money where him lend you, and both you and him laugh and shake one another hand. So them borrow the money from one of them own bank and say the taxpayers of England have to pay back that. So all when you think them take the money out of the year tax out of the GDP, him not take it out of no GDP now, them borrow it from bank and then the taxpayer in England have to pay back that, and that take from 1834 till 2015 before it done pay off. And plenty Jamaican go England go work go help pay off that money.
Read about, they were saying that they were supposed to be compensated because it was their taxes that were paying for our freedom.
Yes.
Not understanding the full story, you know.
Yes. Yes, man. Pure trickery. And smoke and mirrors. Smoke and mirrors. And trickery.
That is why it is not in a conversation of the amount of money that was.
No, wait, look here. Hello, sir. You have to realize, certainly, at school, you know that the teacher couldn't talk fast like how you talking. You know that?
Well, yes.
Yes, and the teacher's part of the teacher's skill is remembering at all time that you're not in the teacher's room talking to the next teacher. She's not at Michael up in the hostel and talk with our next friend. And therefore, she must talk in a way where all of the children or all of the adults in the class can follow. So you have to talk slower and talk clearer so that the people can get the sense of what you say.
Okay. What I'm saying is they will not entertain a conversation about the amount of money that they are owed to us in the forest.
Right.
The 47 million was just for each slave, you know, throughout all of the English Commonwealth, all the slaves that they own there, you know.
Yes.
But if you must now go back and say they must pay for the damages that they did and all of the other things.
Yes.
It's an amount of money that is unquantifiable, and they don't want to entertain that conversation.
No. They don't want to start. Don't want to start that conversation because the conversation and the working out of the maths going to show say everything them have now, them out away. Everything. Everything, including the building them in England.
Because a lot of these slave owners here went to England and built churches in England and a lot of those big buildings that you see.
But then our blood and sweat build it, man. Our blood and sweat build it, man. And when them give money to the church, them name gone down in a church, you know. All upon the church floor, them write up them name, you know. Say them a saint, you know.
Yes, because I heard of one of them that I think he came from St. Louis or something. He said he want a church for himself because when he's praying to his God, nobody's supposed to know.
Exactly.
Into England and into church there themselves.
Yeah, man, when you're high up in a society, you can build all chapel inside of your one land, you know. But you know, like a poor guy, you can't do that. Not because I'm not have the land. You don't have no authority to build no chapel in there. But thank you very much. We're short of time because of the interview earlier. Thanks.
Okay.
Tomorrow
I was supposed to ask Neville. The caller I was calling Neville if he could explain about fractional reserve banking and if it is a practice that they do in Jamaica.
All right. Thank you very much. Neville to explain. Thank you. All right. The next call. Next one. Good afternoon and welcome.
Yeah, man, Jared. You know what the people them do?
Yeah.
Them say slave abolished 34. But people we have to train to become civilized, like. Meanwhile, them are work, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like we have to train to become civilized, because remember, we are not human, you know.
Yeah, them. In other words, they can't let you off of the estate until them train you to be free.
Yeah. So you see how dangerous them people is.
Yeah, man, them have a different excuse. They are like the DPP, you know. Them have a different argument for every audience.
Yeah. And you see, if you notice what are going on in the Catholic country, as what you say, when a man making deal, you know, him having bank account output, you know.
Yeah.
So that's why the Catholic countries still have no care what go on, you know, them still have a mind, you know. Because them don't make the deal already, you know.
Them don't get paid. Not only make the deal, they don't get paid already. They owe them miners there. And if them don't pay them miners and give them what they want, the miner donate money to our next party and beat them in the next election.
Yeah, I expose them.
No, the exposure don't go by itself. You expose them and beat them in the next election.
Yeah. Anyway, give our next man a chance.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much for that addition.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir. Any more? No. Yes, we have some more live chat. How far? Yes. Let us get back to the live chat. Yeah. Takilemkwa. Say, gradually everything will be revealed to the masses in respect of factual past and current events, whether slowly or quickly in measures unexpected. Still learning. Patrick Oil said, Jerry, good afternoon. The Coral Garment Agreement to the government is trickery and they are just biding time until the death of the victims. The agreement should pass on to the victim family. But that's what they're doing, passing on the agreement to the victim family. But that is another trick again, because the victim family were also dead before them get the money. They're supposed to get the money once and for all. And them supposed to get land to not just pure cash. Land and money once and for all. But I understand Patrick Cole, I agree with the sentiment. Sister D. Ruben said, bless up Sister Nanny and Coral Gardens Benevolent Society. Give thanks for I and I works and that of my colleagues. Know that it is appreciated by I and I. Not true? Takilemko said, them reasons they are why I'm so angry and vexed when me still hear others want to hold onto the monarchy, saying it's not the right time for us to look about to self. And him continue. Slow down, don't talk fast. Boy, I laugh till him I want to come in mind. Sister Dewey Ruben say Bongo very small. To know I work and pay towards the payment where they not done pay till 2015. Sick of stomach. Actually I am mother work harder for build up England and pay them with wicked people. You think them never plan for them things and laugh? And Sister Dewey Ruben is one of the people who grew up in England and probably was helping to pay them money they know and never even know. Can you imagine? And she continues, Zit, tackle them, vex, higher. And the natal Basco said, those plantation women are slave master descendant were still getting paid up to 2017. You think of 2015? Thank you very much. We have any more callers? Good afternoon and welcome. Good afternoon.
Mr. Small.
Welcome, sir. Wagwan.
Now, if England paid for the release.
Look here, I don't know if it's pass gas or pass gas or if credit run out tonight. I hope it. Hello, sir. You're still there? No, I hear you.
Jerry.
Yes, Miss Rachel, Wagwan.
Yes, I'm one of those sisters who have worked, and my children have worked, and my grandchildren, paying them back money up to 2018.
Yes.
Up to 2018. So, and I don't think it's finished. And I now have grandchildren who are in proper jobs, full jobs, paying how many taxes.
Yes.
So
and they will always hide some of the charges and the payments. You probably
why are they hanging?
What's that, ma'am?
Why are they hanging? What's there to hang on for? And it's not time yet.
Then if they hang on, look here, if they hang on and make you have to be going paying, you don't see how them benefiting.
Yes. Then they give them back scraps and say they lend them money.
Yes, lend them back. Them broke you and then lend you back money. You can never, them can done pay, but you can never done pay.
That is ridiculous. Time coming, time.
Yes.
It's full time now.
Yeah, man, I feel it, I hear it.
Yeah, I know you don't have long left, so I'll call tomorrow.
But thank you very much for that.
All right, then.
Yes, ma'am. You have more? All right, the numbers are 619-1508, 619-1508, and 279-8473. 279-8473. We have to be strong for us not to get mad every day. We have to be strong and to be growing. As grow, we are grow. Like we can sit down and talk about this and think about this. So cool. And they should be surprised that the crime out the road is not worse. They should be surprised that the crime, a matter of fact, them surprised that the crime out the road not worse. They know. We have another. Good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to the program. Welcome. Welcome. Go ahead, please. Are you there? Go ahead, please.
Yeah, the man I deal with.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, man, me just there, I yell up, you know.
Yeah.
You know, so I listen to the program, you know.
Yeah, good.
Real, man. Everything I already do.
No complaint.
Alright, man, yeah, man, bless up, you know.
Which part of Jamaica you call from?
Yeah, I don't know, I said near me there, you know.
Hey, what your name again?
Security, this one.
Oh, security, St. Mary, good.
Yeah.
Listen back to the program and you hear your call.
Tell me about it, big up yourself.
Alright, cool, man. We have another. Done? Alright, that's that. Well,
hello?
Alright, next call. Good afternoon and welcome.
Hello, Derek.
Welcome.
Yes, from the other day I've been thinking about this. If you notice that around the United States, the superpower they call it.
Alright, talk a little slow because the phone not that clear. Alright, from the other day thinking about the United States superpower, right?
Yes, any country around it that does not align with it, it tries to destroy their economy, right?
Yeah, go ahead, man. That's how superpowers behave.
Yes. So I am wondering, how will Jamaica get any better if we we have somebody who is invested in us not getting any better.
No, talk a little slow. How can what?
How can Jamaica get any better?
Yes.
Once there is somebody invested in ensuring that we do not get any better.
No, you can free yourself. You can free yourself. If you want to ensure...
You try to free yourself.
What's that? What's that?
If every time you try to free yourself, they intentionally do things to bring you down.
Alright, so what you think we should do? You think we should give up then?
No, I'm not saying that we should give up.
No, but you're telling me how can it be done? Or you're saying how can it be done? Apparently it can't be done, not true?
No, I am not saying it cannot be, but I'm saying that we need to start looking at as one of our reasons why we are not getting any better, because if you notice, every time we have a Prime Minister who has the best interest of Jamaica at heart.
Alright, hold on a minute. You have a Prime Minister?
No, every time.
No, hold on, one question. No, just answer the question. Don't give me the long argument. You have a Prime Minister?
No, I don't.
Alright, I don't have any Prime Minister. Then how you talk about every time we have a Prime Minister I'm elected up. I don't have no Prime Minister.
Alright, let me change the way I say that then. Every time a person who is elected by his colleagues to try and help Jamaica, if you notice, the United States do everything in their power to destroy them.
That is not what he is elected for. He's not elected to help Jamaica. You got that wrong.
Well, probably that's not him.
Yeah, you got that wrong. He's elected to do what suits England, America, and other people like that.
Because, alright, look at the light bill that Jamaica has to pay. Jamaica is surrounded by sea. And if the government was looking, I hear them talking about importing electric vehicle and removing the duties of it. Isn't that still going to make our import bill and oil still high same way? If they were thinking to use the sea and put wind turbines out in the sea there, wouldn't that make us have a set electric bill where you don't have to retain certain amount and then the production in the country? Because the reason why Jamaica has such a low production is because of the electric bill that these factories would have to pay. So they leave Jamaica. Jamaica has one of the highest electric rates in the world. So if the leaders would think of things like these, wouldn't it make us a better country?
No, but me and you discussed something already. You're going right back to square one. I do have no Prime Minister. You say you don't have no Prime Minister, and you're still going back now, going wait for leaders do good thing. You slip back? Hello? Hello? No, hold on. Are you in a breezy place?
Yes, the breeze is good.
Well, alright. Well, you have to correct that. And so it is everything that we're doing that is not right, we have to correct it. And if we don't correct them, we're going to be taking wholeness for a Prime Minister and taking the Minister for some nice Boy Scout. You understand?
Yes, because it is really ironic. Jamaica is not really hard to fix,
Alright, if Jamaica is not hard to fix, I am urging you to get together with some other people and make it a project, because it can be done and it's going to take several teams of people to do it. So get done. I can't stay long.
Young people who I have some young people who I communicate with and we get together and talk about.
Yes. You so arrive at some good conclusion. You so arrive at some good conclusion. Yes, sir?
Alright, tomorrow.
All the better, yes, and early. Talk to me earlier. Yes, good afternoon, welcome. Are you there? Another one there?
Yeah, shalom.
Welcome.
Yeah, my contribution will be taken from the book of Jeremiah chapter 30, reading from verse 16, concerning what you have
we can't talk, we can't read for more than a minute. Go here, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, concerning what you have just said about all the buildings in England and most of Europe is ours.
Yeah.
This is what the Most High God says. And Jerry, are you ready to spoil them? Are you preparing your mind and body to spoil these people like what they spoil us?
We don't have enough time for you to do a quiz here.
Alright, fine. It said, verse 16, therefore all they that did devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversary, every one of them, shall go into slavery, and they that spoil thee shall be spoiled, and all they that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. You know who this is talking about, Jerry?
My mind tell me, go on.
Yeah, man. We, man. We say, man. We have to do this back to every them. We have put them in a chains. They are going to be enslaved. Jerry, not sorry for them, you know. No come talk about.
Sorry for who? Sorry for who?
Them are going to slavery, Jerry.
Sorry for who?
The Caucasian people, man, who make we work and pay for enslavement.
So when you going to start hold some of them? Hold on. When you going to start hold some of them?
Jerry.
I am asking you, don't Jeremy. When are you going to start hold some of them? When are you going to start? When?
Jerry.
No, listen now. No, don't Jeremy. If you not answer me now, we're done with this conversation. When are you going to start hold some of them?
Jerry, in a this
no.
lifetime.
Alright, we have to go pull this, because I'm not ready. Him do him never handcuff. Alright, thank you very much. Tomorrow you call me when you get a handcuff or two elastic band, you call me. I'm gonna joke around. Let's get back to the let us get back to the live chat. Alright, Leon Robinson said good over evil. Taki Lemko said curry of a compound. I appeal to you to take a lesson out of Nanny of how the now, the Nanny of the now and the Nanny of the past exemplary roles. And him continue. He talk about government policies restricting the populace. Kayan Brown said, on the Emancipation Day, UK community will protest for reparation for countless generations to come. Perry the Parrot said, women has no title on earth. They are here for one reason only, to keep the earth rightful rule of multiplication. Keep having new lions. Look like Perry no known about woman. But as a pirate stay now. Pirate high and dry. They pawn ship and anyway, don't bother looking at the cabin below her. You leave the guy them alone. Sister D. Ruben said, the natal Basco. All know I still pay them through them dirty policies where suppress I growth. Sister D. Ruben said, Kayan Brown, liberation is a must. Thank you very much. Well, alright, I could call for Jackie Opel now. One more time. Jackie Opel. Jackie Opel come to the conclusion. They're no good. Let's go.
No use of you coming on your bending knees. You've done me wrong, and I can hear your plea. You're no good, you're no good, you ain't no good, no good. Man, you hear what I say, you're no good. You try your best to try to cause me strife, and I don't like no man who's messing around my life. You're no good, you're no good, you ain't no good. You hear what I say, you no good. Man, you hear what I say, you're no good. There comes a time when you must cry, but you never miss the water until the well runs dry. No use of you coming on your bending knees. You've done me wrong, and I can never hear your plea. You're no good, you ain't no good. Man, you ain't no good, you're no good.